2 whitewashes at home in a period of 12 months, an event which previous to this had only happened once in the history of Indian cricket. That in itself tells you what a rare event this was. And if 2 back-to-back whitewashes at home is not the lowest point in Indian cricket, then I don't know what is. The question now is, how did India reach there? I think it's a combination of some poor skill, lack of character, and as well as some questionable decisions that have been taken. You know, I was just taking a look at a social media comment made by Kevin Peterson where he said, you know, at our time, coming to India and winning in India used to be so tough. Now, any team comes here and wins. That took me to Steve Waugh. I covered cricket at that time. Steve Waugh, the great Steve Waugh, who conquered every part of the world, called winning in India the final frontier. In fact, one of the greatest captains to be there could not conquer the final frontier. Once that final frontier was conquered in 2004, Steve Waugh wasn't the captain. Today, Steve Waugh must be wondering, what is it that we used to keep talking about? I wish I had played against an Indian team as unsure, as underconfident, as ill-prepared as this current Indian team. Things have come to a situation where I heard a former Pakistani cricketer speaking on social media saying that in white ball India may be better, but in red ball cricket Pakistan has a better test team than India, and he has reasons to back it up, because this South African team, which has wiped off India 2-0, drew the series 1-1 just a short while back in Pakistan. I have given these examples just to let you know where Indian cricket finds itself at the moment. What are the areas that has brought us there? The questions will be asked about the skills. I agree, the skills are not there, but who's responsible for the skills not being there? We are responsible, the management is responsible, the think tank is responsible. If you have been serving up rank turners at home continuously, what have you taught the Indian batters? You have taught them the bad habit of only lasting few deliveries, because those pitches used to be pitches where one ball would have a name on it and you would get out. So if you hung around for 30, 40 balls, your job was done. Why? Because one team was scoring 180, the other was scoring 200. That's where you were competing. That in itself has brought the bad habit into the batter. So when you get a flat pitch, you are not used to batting for hours. You are not used to grinding it out. You are not used to fighting your way through to well-earned runs. Your attention span is limited. It's not just what happens in white ball cricket. That they are a product of this time. It is also because the kind of pitches that you've been offering. How can suddenly now on a flat pitch like in Guwahati you expect them to bat for hours? It will not happen, because you're not being preparing for that. South Africa has done it because South Africa has played previously on flat batting conditions, and where there was a bit of turn, they know how to grind it out, how to spend time. That is where fingers need to be pointed towards the management, towards the coaching staff, towards BCCI, whoever is taking the call, towards the captain, and whatever our thought process was. The pitch in Guwahati was not the problem. The pitch previous to that you had been serving, that was the problem. And you know what the sad thing is, and that brings me to the other point, the character. You can lose, you can win, that's another thing. What you saw from this Indian team in Guwahati, okay, Kolkata, I'll let it go, minefield of a pitch. This pitch, what I saw from this Indian team was lack of character, not having the stomach for a fight, and I think that is a damning indictment on this particular Indian team. You know, the South African coach came out and said, we intend to make this team grovel. That became a big controversy, but that's exactly what it's happened. They have made you grovel. They have really made you go down on your knees. And what really pains watching all of this as an Indian fan is, again, as I said, not the loss. But when an opposition team comes out and says this to you, I'm not saying that it had any racist undertones. I'm not getting into that debate. I still think that this was at best a sledge or a jibe. But if someone has sledged you, has taken a jibe at you, what would previous Indian teams do? Come and fight it out. Show that character, show that guts. If this Indian team had gone and drawn this game, I would have said yes. He insulted you, so you came back fighting. You showed your true character. Despite the opposition coach saying that, and he was absolutely right, him saying that, you came and you capitulated on the day. 140 all out. No skill, no character that you see. And then that takes me to the dubious calls that you've been taking. This has also been happening for some time. It's no coincidence that you've lost 2 back-to-back series at home where you've been whitewashed. Of course, you won against West Indies in the middle. That's immaterial. But against 2 teams that can compete, you lost. Why? It started from BGT, the questionable calls. You were picking teams basis on anyone who can give you a little bit of everything, bits and pieces players. So that works in white ball cricket. You're doing matchups. You're playing left-hand, right-hand batters in test match cricket. That happens in white ball matchup. Why? Because you have a scenario in a matchup where the intent of a batter is always to attack, to hit, then you get a different batter. For a left-hander, you get an off-spinner because the chances of him hitting an off-spinner is less. But in test match cricket, you play your best batters. You don't have to play left hand, right hand. The Indian team that would dominate at home at one point would have 7 to 8 batters, all right-handers. There were no matchups. You played your best batters. You're not doing that now. Now you're deciding how many lefties, how many righties. White ball mentality. Your selection, you're picking players on the basis of white ball cricket. Nothing against those players. Some of them are talented, may go ahead and have great careers. Sai Sudarshan, not because he had great red ball numbers to back him, because he was great in the IPL, comes in. At one point you were playing Harshit Rana in test match cricket, not because he's done so well in red ball cricket years after year, but because he had a great IPL. Washington Sundar is your #1 premier off spinner. Harmer is picking up wickets. Why? Because he is South Africa's #1 off spinner, so he plays. Not because he'll give you runs or not. They've played their best off spinner. Have you played your best off spinner in the country? No. You had a scenario where Ashwin was sitting out, Washington Sundar was playing. Why? Because he can bat. Washington Sundar, just a reminder, in IPL plays as a pure batter. You are picking your spinners basis on if they can bat. Dare I say, if Anil Kumble was playing today, may not get a chance to play in this Indian team because you would say, oh, he does not bat. Or you might play, you might keep Harbhajan Singh out of the team. Why? You say, okay, Sachin can bowl off spin, so if I need an off spinner, Sachin will bowl. Harbhajan, you sit out because he's also a batter. That has seeped in, as I said. White ball is the basis of your selection. Nitish Kumar Reddy had came into the Indian team basis a good IPL. I know you're desperate to find an all-rounder, but came on the basis of IPL. His numbers in red ball cricket, even at domestic level, is not great. The ones that have great number in red ball cricket, who've been toiling hard in domestic cricket, are specialists. They are languishing. Sheikh Rashid, Sarfraz, Abhimanyu Ishwaran, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Baba Parijit, so many I can think who are getting runs in red ball cricket don't come in. Why? Because they don't play the IPL. South Africa's captain is Temba Bavuma. He is not part of their T20 team, but he won you the match in Kolkata. Simon Harmer does not play in their T20 team. He's their best spinner, so he's playing there. I think the best teams in the world, who are your 3 WTC champions so far? New Zealand, conventional thinking, specialist. Australia won next, conventional thinking, specialist. Nathan Lyon plays because he's the best off spinner in Australia. They don't care he can't contribute with the bat, but had he been in India, probably wouldn't have played. That is the problem. It's your thought process. Now, Gautam Gambhir has come out and said that, listen, people are not important, Indian cricket is important. I completely agree with him. I know that Gautam Gambhir is a man of good heart. He always has the right intention. But unfortunately, results haven't come under him. And maybe it's time now to de-link coaching in white ball, which is working well. You've had some wins, Asia Cup, Champions Trophy, but coaching in test match cricket has to fall back. Think tank in red ball cricket has to fall back to conventional thinking. Maybe it's time for you to look for a new coach, because in his own words, in the coach's own words, who I firmly believe in, who I'm a fan of, individuals don't matter, Indian cricket does. Indian cricket at the lowest ebb right now. You need to do something to fix that. You let us know on your thoughts about where you see this Indian team at the moment. What can be done to stem this rot that we are experiencing in test match cricket? Share this video with your other friends. They may have a thought or two to share. We'll keep an eye out on that. Read all your comments. Give us a like on the video if you're enjoying our content. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.